And I left it at that. And that actually really helped me. That really helped me. I mean, do you guys know that in, this is really good. God, how awesome that He is. He will never put anything in front of us that we can't handle. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. No temptation has seized you except what is common to man. So the temptation of women is always there for me, right? I mean, it's always around us. Temptations, period. And God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. So He knows we can handle this, as long as we keep Him by our side. But when you are tempted, He will also provide a way out so that you can stand up under it. We're not able to do the right thing if we're not given the option to do the wrong thing. God knows that. So through all that year of 2008, it was just me clinging on to that. God will never put anything in front of me that I can't handle with Him. As long as I have Him in here, as long as I'm grabbing onto Him with my dear life, everything will be fine. And I had a dream about this, not a vision, this morning when I was praying. I was on a mountain, and there was wind blowing, and everything was all shaking, and I feel like I'm clinging onto this mountain with my dear life, and it was really scary, because it's like, like a cliff type of thing. And so, I was like, God, where are you? God, I'm gonna die, and then I realized something. As I thought it was an earthquake, as I thought it was winds coming, which there were, as I was clinging onto this mountain was actually the back of God. And the tighter I clung on to God, I said, God, this mountain, the more safe I was. And that's what I did in 2008. In 2008, everybody said it was one of the worst years. The economy was bad, this and that was bad. But 2008 was the best year in my life so far. It was one of the best years. And I give that all thanks to God. Everything in my life started changing. Everything. Things that I didn't even expect to happen started changing. Things I didn't even want, but really inside I probably did, because it came to me. I was like, wow, what's this? I don't know why this blessing is so big. But I remember now, I gotta thank the blesser. And with this one small step in my life of just this whole sex before marriage, God started showing me, step-by-step things that I need to start working on as well. So other than sex, maybe VanNess, you don't need to drink so much anymore. Really? Yeah. Maybe just let that go. Because I was actually a pretty heavy drinker. I owned a nightclub. It was, every night I would go, not every night, every weekend. Every weekend I would go. And I would just get to the point where I did not know who I was anymore. One day I went home, I was already drunk. I opened my refrigerator, there's a bottle of Korean soju, and I was like, I want some of that. So I finished it. I finished the whole bottle. Went to bed the next morning like, oh my gosh, what did I just do? Instantly something in my head just went, VanNess, stop drinking now. I can't explain it, guys. I just said, okay, I'll stop 40 days, 40 nights. I'll fast from alcohol. And when that fast was up, guess who I met that day that the fast was over? I met Pastor Philip. Yeah. I was like, hey, Pastor Philip, I just finished 40-day fast on alcohol. He said, that's good. Continue. But the thing is, in my heart, I really wanted to continue, but I just didn't have a reason. I felt I wasn't enough. But that's wrong, because God believes that I am. He believes that I'm good enough. He believes that all of us are good enough. He has something in all our lives. So Pastor Philip said, he shared with me about how fasting, you don't have to fast for yourself, you can fast for other people on certain things. So I said, okay, God, I'm going to fast from drinking for my father. Until he's able to feel this peace that I have inside me, I'm not going to drink. That's been over 2 years now. I haven't touched alcohol. Do I miss it? Sometimes. That's all right. That's still right. So slowly in things like, do you see what I'm saying? It's like we just trust God. Just trust Him. But how do we do that? The reason why I had such a hard time trusting God in the beginning is because for myself, there were so many things that were blocking me. So many things that happened in my life growing up that I didn't understand why they happened, but I knew that made me feel like, no, I don't want this to happen ever again. So in that intense moment in my life, what I did was, I told myself, I will never let this person hurt me in such a way. I will never let this person hurt me. And in that moment when my emotions were running high, I made an inner vow in my heart. My heart closed off. It said no. Love was trying to come in and said, no, I don't want you, love. I don't want you, love. Even though I wasn't aware of it. And in that moment I was like, well, but I do want love, so how do we do it? What's it all about? God knows what's going on inside our hearts, and He wants to free us from that. But our hearts have to be prepared and ready for that. I feel like a high tension, I don't know, I just feel like for our hearts to be ready, things inside us just need to be freed. I don't know if there's people here. I mean, I made a promise to myself. I said I would never let this person hurt me. No matter if it was my mom, my father when I was growing up, when I did something that was wrong. You know? But the small things like that affected me to the point where I started making a promise to myself that I won't let this happen. But growing up older, it became more hardened inside. And it made me not be able to take direction. But then when I come to an understanding that the people that are above me give me a direction, I can close off to them and say, no, you know what, I don't agree with that. You're not right. I know what I'm doing. That's closing up. That's because I have this wall inside me that I'm just pretty much saying, I'm scared to let you in. I don't want any of that. God, I'm scared to let you in. But once I start realizing that this person actually cares for me, loves me, wants nothing but the best for me, how do I do that? How do I do that? I started asking God, how do I do that? And then He started putting key peoples in my life to show me how. How are we able to get to know God more? How are we able to experience this love? How do you love? How are we even able to love anybody?